Welcome to Dog Explaining, where we break down what your dog is really trying to tell you. I'm Dana, a canine coach and holistic wellness specialist focused on nutrition, energy work, and essential oils. I'm on a mission for your dog to eat better, feel better, and live longer.
And I'm Angela. I'm your 456 wellness and behavior coach, focusing on helping you understand the connection between four balls, five elements, and six fun tricks.
We're here to help you connect the dots, behavior, food, health, and everything in between, with honest conversations and straight talking guidance.
If you're ready to get past the noise and actually understand what your dog needs you to know, you're in the right place. Now, here's today's Dog Explaining episode.
Hi, everybody, it's Dana.
And Angela.
And we're here to talk a little bit about dog explaining. And today's topic is going to be about what often feels like an experiment when we have a dog with health issues or even anxiety issues. And honest to goodness, I have people experimenting with flea and tick resolutions right now. So sometimes that experiment can feel really frustrating and overwhelming. And so we're going to talk a little bit about our own personal stories with that and how we sort of think about it and how we work through it.
Yeah.
So, Angela, I know you've got some challenges with Miss Duda and her kidney issues, but you've also been successful for almost 2 years now, which is an amazing accomplishment. But you did not get there with taking only the standard action of veterinary care. You've done a lot of things and you've changed a lot of things. So, you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, we've changed a lot.
Often.
And frequently.
Hmm.
Yeah, so it was about a year and a half ago that we got the diagnosis, and at the time we got the diagnosis, she was stage 3 chronic kidney disease, and it was higher level stage 3 values.
Hmm.
So, and it is becoming more widely known. Like the first thing everybody wants to do is to cut protein. And so we did not do that.
Right.
Because talking with my integrative veterinarian, we came to the conclusion that the worst thing you can do is starve your dog,
Exactly.
while their body is working to keep up with the deficits from kidney damage. So all we did at that point was take her from a semi-raw diet, a dehydrated product, and a raw protein to a gently cooked meal.
Hmm.
Um, so that was the only thing that we changed diet-wise, but we did start doing things like adding more alternative modes of treatment, like acupuncture. So she'd been doing chiropractor adjustments. We've been doing that for several years just because of her age, and she's built like a little tank. But we started adding the acupuncture was one thing that we started doing, and I swear by it today because I see a difference every time she goes and gets a treatment. We get a treatment every other week, and I'll see a difference in things like she may be leaking a little bit of urine, because incontinence is sort of related to kidney disease sometimes just because of everything that's happening. But if she's ever leaking at all, we go and we get acupuncture, and it will go away, which I think is just incredible. Like it just speaks so strongly to the power of Chinese medicine.
Right.
But then there's lots of supplements and things that we experimented with. High blood pressure, hypertension is a part of kidney disease. So we tried this and that and tweaked things here and there to give her stuff to help with the hypertension. And it probably took a couple months before we found a good level of meds there, and that ended up I when ended up going with with a veterinarian prescribed medication. You pick and choose your battles. And do you want me to talk about all the different supplements?
Well, just talk about how it has evolved, right? You don't have to give
Yeah.
all the specifics, but that sort of each phase has led you to either add or take away something.
Yeah, so like we would add something and give it a couple weeks, and then we would do a blood draw and see what was happening. So, and instead of just looking at the kidneys, we're looking at everything, kidneys, liver, heart, everything in the body. We're looking at those levels every few weeks as we're tweaking things. Because I would notice we might add some supplement or something, and then her liver enzymes might go up a little bit. And you don't know, is it because of this or is it because of something else? So we were constantly, I mean, and honestly, still we're tweaking things. I don't do blood draws quite as frequently now. I was doing them about every 2 weeks for a long time until we got to a good maintenance level. And we actually got her kidney values down. She's still diagnosed with stage 3 kidney disease, but her kidney values are more closely in line on the iris scale to stage 2,
That's
which is
amazing.
incredible. Yeah,
Yeah.
because the kidneys can repair themselves. For years, everybody said the kidneys can't repair themselves. The damage is done. The damage is done. But there's new studies showing that they can repair themselves.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think that has to do with giving it things that are not just suppressing the symptoms,
Right. Treating everything.
right? Because a lot
Yeah.
of times, and this is true sort of across the board, not all things, but most, even diarrhea, we suppress the symptom, right? With things like metronidazole,
Yep.
which is one of the worst things we can do.
You're doing
So,
damage to so many other things by
absolutely, it
just
has so
because you
many
want to
crazy
stop
side effects.
diarrhea.
Right. So if we just suppress the symptoms are still there, the damage is still there, the healing is not happening.
Yep.
We, as pet parents, go, oh, improvement. I don't see these symptoms anymore.
Yeah. But then you have to you might be fixing one set of symptoms, and the gut health is a big one. So, no matter what you're doing and no matter what you're using to treat an issue, you may see your pet present GI symptoms as a result of whatever it is you're adding to their body.
Mhm.
Harmful or not, it's still creating changes in the body. So
Right,
you have to constantly be regulating and monitoring all of those systems.
right. And you've been really integrative, right? Not just limited to one category, but I know not only have you done Chinese medicine, but you've brought in homeopathic remedies and you've brought in essential oils and you've brought in supplementation and all of those things
All
at
of it.
various times.
Yes, and we do muscle testing pretty frequently, to see, like, to let her body tell me, like, do we need to keep doing this particular supplement? Do you need more? Do you need less? Sometimes her body tells me, no, I don't need this anymore. And
Hmm.
we've actually, so despite all of the great improvements that we've made, we're a year and a half, a little over a year and a half in. She got pretty sick about a month ago with some type of virus. And afterwards, we did check her kidneys, and her liver and stuff, and things had gone up a little bit, but not dangerously high. But the change that happened within her body when she was fighting that virus was she's much more, I guess, sensitive maybe to smells and tastes now,
Hmm.
kind of like we get after we are sick. So she started, walking away from her food bowl. And so supplements that we've been taking all of this time that, we all believed were doing a whole lot of good, I couldn't convince her to take anymore. And at
Hmm.
first, I struggled with finding different ways to sneak it in the bowl or put it in peanut butter. And it got to the point where I had a moment one day, And I said, you know what? Her happiness comes first. And if she's telling me I don't want these things in my bowl, because I can give her a bowl of food with all her meds in it, and she might completely walk away from it. And I can give her a bowl with just a few. She might walk away from it, she might eat. But if I give her a bowl with just her food and nothing else, she devours it.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was my cue to let her body do what it wants to do. And so she just gets her food now. And we'll probably do some blood work, I think, in the next week or so to see where kidney values are, since it's been about a month since and because we sort of did stop everything all at once when she was sick because she didn't eat for a week at that point, which is bad enough. But when you have kidney disease, it's a little bit more dangerous.
Right.
Um, so yeah.
So just a couple of questions for you. Like how hard was that decision? What was your process of saying, I got to stop putting this stuff in the bowl?
It was a couple weeks. It took me to build myself up to the decision because again, I definitely tried for a few weeks to pick which ones that we thought were the most important, and I talked about this with my veterinarian. We talked about what are the most important things right now, what not just kidney disease wise, but all of the other supplements she was taking too, like that she's been taking for years, like her omega-3s. Omega-3s do so much for the entire body.
Mm-hmm.
And so in the beginning, I was picking and choosing and trying, would she take this? And then when it became this, like, I don't want to call it disastrous event, but each day, every feeding was a new experiment to see, okay, can I get this supplement in her? And after fighting her over the food bowl for a couple weeks, I actually had listened to a podcast, and one of the participants in the podcast was talking about a very similar experience and how their dog's entire food bowl was basically powder with supplements. And their dog, the same thing happened at one point. The dog refused to eat. And they also made the decision, and what they said really hit home. Like it was sometimes we believe things and you hear things, and then one person or one incident happens and it just clicks, and you're like, yep, I needed to hear that. And that
Mm-hmm.
was what I needed to hear that day. And so since that day, we've stopped everything. She's on a special kidney formulated diet. We'll stick with that.
Right.
But we're not adding, the Chinese herbs, and we're not adding the extra omegas and the mushrooms and everything I mean, we were putting so much good stuff in her body.
Mm-hmm.
And we know it worked. Like we
Yeah.
have the results of, 2 years worth of blood work to show that what we were doing definitely worked.
Right.
And it doesn't mean, even though it was a hard decision, the thing that I had to accept was this doesn't mean we're giving up. It just means we're letting her body do what it wants to do.
Yeah.
It
And
means,
letting her have some decision, for lack of a better word, in the process.
yeah, because I truly believe that dogs know what they need. And, you and I've been talking about the whole poop thing.
I
Like,
paid money for poop. That's
but we get frustrated with our animals because we catch them eating poop. But it's their natural instinct when they need microbiome support to get it from somewhere, and that might be from feces.
mm-hmm.
So our dogs know what they need, and they can't tell us I need this, so they go find it in the wild in nature.
Right.
They might eat grass or dirt or poop or whatever it is, but their body knows what it needs. And I think she was saying, hey, look, like whatever happened in here, it's good, but I don't need this
Need a
anymore.
break. And
Yeah.
can't keep doing this. So yeah, and I know that was a hard decision to make, really, really difficult. And so I don't want anybody to walk away going, you made that lightly, or that that we would not understand the struggle they have making that decision
Well, the
because it's
good
not
news is
easy.
a week since making that decision, it's not like I've seen a huge trend downward.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, her energy levels are good. She's happy. She's resting well. Like, I see no changes. Actually, if I see any changes, they're for the better. She's happier because we're
And
not
that's
arguing
huge.
over the
We
food
we
bowl.
can't ask for any more than a happy senior,
Yeah.
right?
She'll be
Remind
15 in December.
Yeah, I was going to ask you to remind everybody how old she is, which is amazing. It's wonderful. So yeah. So you also mentioned muscle testing, which I love and am completely fascinated by. Um, what was your first thought when you were introduced to muscle testing?
Oh, this woo-woo stuff.
Exactly.
It was kind of the same feeling I got when I was a teenager and somebody said, "Hey, let's play Ouija board." Like who's making this thing move?
Mm-hmm.
But I watched it happen, and watching it is completely different than doing it yourself. I did it myself a few times, and you ask it things that you know the answer to. And
Right.
when the pendulum tells you yes and no and you know the answer, it's kind of hard not to trust the
It
process.
is. I was at a dog nutrition event many years ago, and we were sitting at dinner. And Krista was the one who introduced me to this. And I was so mad because Wendy had been talking about it. And Krista had a pendulum and she said, here, try this. And I did. And I literally flung the thing across the room. I'm like, what sort of sorcery is this? And so I get it when you and I start talking about things like that to people, they think, oh, these girls have gone into witchcraft,
I
right?
know.
And we really have not. It's just an energetic frequency communicating with the animal. And you can do it not just with animals, but with each other. And it is
Yeah, with
just
anything.
fascinating.
But if you don't believe in the process, it's not going to work for you.
Right.
You have to trust it. You have to believe it. You have to put the energy that the pendulum needs to give you the answers. So
Right.
you can't be a non-believer and go, okay, well, let me see what this thing's going to tell me
Right. If you
today.
resist, if in your mind you're resistant, and that's not uncommon, you and I both know somebody that resisted this heavily, and she just could not do it. She could not do it. And it took her a little while of sort of repeating the effort and seeing it and seeing you and me, and just like, okay. And now she can actually be open to
Yeah.
that as well.
Have you ever tried to do muscle testing, um, and you just didn't have a connection with the pendulum or whatever it was you were using? Because I have definitely tried
Yeah,
to do it before and there was no communication there.
right. Yeah, absolutely. So you have used muscle testing mostly via pendulum, and there are other ways to do it, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
Um, so people understand you don't even have to be in the same space with the dog. You can do this remotely,
Hmm.
but obviously Gouda is with you every day. But you have used that to say things like, is this supplement necessary for you today? Today,
Hmm.
do you need one? Do you need two? Or how many drops of oil, or which oil, or things of that nature? So,
Yeah.
what were are there any things that come to mind that have been a surprise to you that either she didn't need or she did need and you would like, wait a minute, wasn't even thinking about that.
Um, yeah, so one of the actually one of the supplements that she's been on for years, stinging nettle.
Mm-hmm.
Long before kidney disease, we took stinging nettle for inflammation and allergy type symptoms. It's just something that's always been in our routine. And when she got sick about a month or so ago, and I was going through everything, like what does she need today? What's my priority? Several days in a row, the muscle testing told me no nettles. And I was like, how can we not need nettles? We've done this every single day for years. And so it's definitely one of those things where you have to trust it. You have to trust
Yeah.
it because that's also something that's very important for kidney health. So it's so multifaceted, but yet it was telling me no, not today. We did, I did a lot more homeopathies during that 2 week period than we normally do. Um, and because homeopathies they have overlapping properties, but then they
Mm-hmm.
also have very specific properties. So I just pulled the whole thing out. I pulled the whole thing out and we went through probably five or six every few hours asking, does she need this? And if she does, I would get specific, like, does she need it within 5 hours, 2 hours, 1 hour? So that we were spreading things out, that we were trying to help her body fight this virus, whatever it was.
Right.
We did know we didn't go to the vet. We didn't do antibiotic, we didn't do all of that stuff. Like I let the muscle testing tell me what she needed.
Mm-hmm. And that's one of the, so I love like homeopathy, I love my essential oils, but we can often use them in times that we can't put something in the food.
Mhm.
So homeopathy, you can either do like those little itty bitty pellets or what's called a wet dose. We're seeing more and more quote unquote tinctures of homeopathics that sort of leans into another category of homeopathy, if you will,
Yeah,
but
like the
it's,
tonals and stuff.
huh?
The tonals and stuff.
Right. But it's pretty darn easy to put one or two of those little pellets down in the gum line and let it dissolve. That is not very intrusive.
Yeah.
Or
And when
to
you've got
turn,
a dog that's too sick to raise her head and can't keep anything down,
exactly.
that was all we had that week.
Right. And you can turn that into a wet tincture, which just means you add a little bit of water to it and shake it up till it dissolves, and then use drops of that to hit that gum line, and it's going to be absorbed directly into the bloodstream. So we can do those things in times where the bowl has become just too muddy, too many things to be appetizing anymore.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's awesome.
And your dog's palate will change
Yeah.
because she is a dog that for most of her life, you put it in front of her, she would eat it. You could sprinkle poop with some little sprinkles and tell her, do you want a treat? And she'd probably eat it. But
Yeah.
just like us, our body knows when we don't want something. Our palates change over time too. You might not like tomatoes for most of your life, and then later on in adulthood, now, and that's a true story. I know someone who never could eat tomatoes and now loves tomatoes.
Hmm.
Since COVID, she got COVID and now she loves tomatoes.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, so even with Gouda though, it's been an experiment. You've tried things that just didn't help at all, or maybe made
Hmm.
things worse. And so I think
Yeah.
a lot of times people feel like when people like you and me make a recommendation on a supplement that maybe worked for a while and then stops or doesn't work at all, that's a problem,
Hmm.
right? And I want people to understand that it does feel a little bit like an experiment. And it's because every body, every being is an individual, and all of the things happening in that system of the body are unique to the individual. And so I think sometimes it does feel like we're guessing or we're experimenting, but we're doing that based on educated principles of what we know. What we know is the right category to be in for those supplements. And then we have to sometimes say, you know what, that's not working, or that one's no longer necessary. And we make a switch. And then I think that can feel like guesswork to people. It can feel certainly very expensive, and I think no one knows that better than you right now. And you're like, so speak to that a little bit. Speak to the process of it feeling like trial and error and the expense that goes with that.
Yeah. Um, yeah, good supplements are easy to find, but not easy to afford. The, I'm let's just say I'm very grateful that I could do what I did for
Mm-hmm.
her. I probably could not have done this for her 10 years ago. I know I couldn't have. But yeah, the it is a frustrating process because you read a study or someone recommends a product that really worked for them and you get really excited about it and you get the product and a couple weeks in you see no change.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't want to just give up. I don't. My instinct is to keep going, give it more time, give it more time. But we know that we should be seeing results ideally within a certain number of weeks or months or, whatever it is. So it is hard to say, okay, well, I put all the money into buying this product, but it's not working. So let's try something else. Because there are a lot of products.
There are a lot.
A lot of products, especially when
Mm-hmm.
you start getting into the natural plant-based stuff. I mean, everything around us is medicinal.
Right.
And the more you start it really more so if you're targeting something specific like kidney disease. So much out there and you keep reading and you keep hearing about more. One of the things that I really struggled with in the beginning was I wanted to try them all at once. Let's just do
Throw the
everything.
book at it. Do everything.
Do everything all at once. Well, you're never going to know what works to start with. And then I mean, I guess you could potentially do damage by putting too much stuff all at once and something potentially counteracting with something else.
Right.
Even though it's all natural, things still can work against each other and not always in sync. Um, I got sidetracked. Uh, yeah, so it is an experiment, and the waiting game is frustrating because your pet is sick and you want to see them better and you want to see them better quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're creating all that anxiety in us that our pets are then, absorbing that anxiety because they don't feel good and now we're making them feel worse. But you have to trust the process. You have to go into it knowing and accepting that not everything is going to work. I'm going to try this.
Yeah.
Give yourself a deadline. Like, okay, I'll try it for 4 weeks, and if there's no change in liver enzymes, then let's go to something else, something that might be addressing that issue, tincture form, or whatever it may be, homeopathy, Chinese herb oils. There's
Right.
just so much to try.
Yeah. And you may have supplements that you've purchased that you're no longer going to use, that you're going to feel like just go to the wayside.
Yeah.
And that's okay. We can either donate them to a rescue or to a member of our group or whatever, but don't get locked into that. But I do understand the price, the expense of it all. But to that, I will add, we have to be extremely careful of spending money on quality supplements.
Yes, for
There's
sure.
and I don't remember the number off the top of my head. It's not research that I did. It was something that I read, um, where they were studying products on Amazon, supplements on Amazon, and like, I want to say something like 80% were of poor quality, meaning they didn't even have what they were supposed to have in them. They had fillers and other things in them that shouldn't have been there. All sorts of low quality products. So you're never going to get a positive result from those. And in fact, you could get a
Be
really
doing
bad
damage.
outcome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can be doing liver damage by taking a supplement that you think is helping you, but it's full of synthetic materials that are
Right.
building up in your liver.
Right. So when you are shopping on a place like Amazon or Chewy or Walmart or wherever, um, we have to know the vendor. Like if you're looking on Amazon, and one of the ones that comes to mind is like um well, Young Living, for example, in the essential oil, you can go find Young Living oils on Amazon. They are not real.
They're not real.
If you actually look at the label, look at the cap, look at what the bottle looks like, it is a faux product. And supplements are like that. So there is a line item where you purchase those products that gives you who the vendor is, like who the seller is. And if it's not the brand, if it's some third party, I would run.
Mm-hmm.
And so you, Angela and I can get you access to professional grade supplementation, homeopathic remedies, through our full script accounts if people need that. I trust, there are some brands on there that I like better than others, but I do know that the products that are there are trustworthy.
Yeah. Yep. And you and I, we've listened to enough veterinarians and read enough studies and stuff that we also, even if the product, so a product that might not be on full script, we can probably go find information on that product for you and say,
Oh,
yes, it's a
sure.
reputable product or it's not.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, that's just, it's so dangerous and so frustrating too. It's
Yeah.
even worse now that AI can go generate a bunch of good reviews for a product. You know, you couldn't do that 10 years ago. 10 years ago, the reviews were true and
We're
trustworthy
authentic.
reviews. Now it's all made up by some bot.
I know. I'm so over social media because you can't go on there and find, you know how it used to be Angela was traveling, or here's what I had for dinner, or here's, what's on your mind today. And those were the silly things that we talked about. Now it's honest to God, it feels like reruns, or they'll take a popular influencer's not the word I'm looking for, content creator, and spoof it under 42 different names, and you see it all again and again and again, and they're all just trying to make money off of it. And I'm like, this is insanity. I don't even want to be on social media anymore. So anyway, all right, what else would you add to this tale for the pet parents out there? Any pearls of wisdom?
Yeah, have more than one source. So I have two doctors and Dana that we've run all of these everything that we tried and didn't try. And back to the point too about stopping things when you don't see a change. I did want to mention this. You might not see a change now. It doesn't mean that you shouldn't try and revisit that product in a few months because things are constantly changing. The body's metabolizing things differently every day as, the disease progresses, that type of thing. So I definitely have dropped products off and then tried reintroducing them several months later to see
Mm-hmm.
if there was a result then. And I'm not throwing anything away yet because we might decide this course that we've taken, Gouda might decide in another month or two that, hey, maybe I need some of that stuff in my bowl again.
Right.
So I almost rushed out and got rid of it all. And I was like, no, it's something told me to just hold steady for a little
Yeah.
bit.
And I don't want anybody to walk away from this thinking that veterinary supervision has not been involved, or it totally has. You've got a
Oh yeah.
couple of vets on
I,
speed dial.
yes, I do.
One, which is your more traditional, do all the blood work, testing, diagnostic kind of stuff.
Yep.
And then your chiro, acupuncture,
Chiro,
veterinarian,
acupuncture,
who
Chinese
also then looks at
herbs.
all that blood work and all of those things. And
Yep.
it's been a collaborative effort to say this is the path um, to think about, and then you and Gouda making those decisions.
Yep. And it is as soon as I do something with one doctor in one facet of whatever it is that we're managing that day, then I have to remember to go tell all of those other people, here's the changes that we've made.
Mm-hmm.
Because in order for us all to collaborate, efficiently, when a change is made, they have to know that because it
Right.
might adjust something that they're advising that we do. But
Yeah.
yeah, everything has been under supervision of a DVM, and I've definitely come to them with things that you've told me about I didn't know or that I learned on my own and said, "Hey, what do you think about this? Trying this for her." And sometimes the answer is, "No, I don't think you should." And sometimes the answer is, "Oh, well, that seems like a good strategy. Let's try it."
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
they're always honest too. They'll tell you, and you get a second opinion or a third if you want.
Right.
Yeah, it's not a what's the word I'm trying to think of?
Not a cookie cutter approach. Your protocol is extremely customized.
Yes.
Extremely customized. And it varies sometimes day to day, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So, yeah. Awesome.
But yes, it's an experiment. Every day is an experiment.
Right. And, I want people to understand a little bit too that it's not just in the holistic space that I think there's an experiment that happens, right? It's an educated one.
Hmm.
And I always say we let the dog's body guide us to the next step. And that's through diagnostics, all the blood works and how they look, how they feel. They will lead us where we're going.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but even in even in more traditional veterinary care, I think there's some guesswork to it. There's educated guesswork. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to oversimplify that. But even with Harvey and his little seizures, which we have not made it past 18, we made it 18 days this time. Um, they just want to change the next prescription. Well, if that prescription's not working, let's change it. Well, if that one's not working, let's do both. And, they can't get out of the prescriptive category.
Yeah.
When you start talking to them about, well, what about this supplement or that supplement or this whatever, they don't, I don't want to say they don't have knowledge because I think many of them do, but they can't discuss it. It strays from their format, from their protocol, but they are still sort of trial and error to see which of those prescription products is going to work the best.
Yeah. Yeah, because there's something different about each one.
Yeah, and Harvey is quite different. So he's still on a prescription med. They wanted to put him on two, and I said no. Um, we're trying some additional um, supplements that I think have made it. They certainly have made him clearer, more dog-like. He's doing things that he did not do when he first arrived here, which I think is a positive step. Um, we're going back through the protocol of detox, meaning, so detox is not limited to one system of the body. It's you do liver detox, you do vaccine detox, you do heavy metal detox, you do parasite detox. We're cycling back through all of those things again because you can't do them all at once. And just trying to figure out how we can resolve this for him. But so far we haven't. So anyway.
To your point, that you're seeing behavior changes.
Yeah.
So you're addressing a physiological concern, but you're noticing changes in play
Oh
and
yeah,
giving
absolutely.
kisses. Like, I think a lot of people forget to look for those things, honestly. Like, through this whole process, that's one of the things that I've really become trained myself to be more aware of, because when someone says, "How's Gouda today?" I'm like, okay, well, she has kidney disease. It's not something that you see. It doesn't manifest itself like physically, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you have to start paying attention to your dog. Like, did they sleep more today than they did yesterday? Did she drink more water today than she did yesterday? When she got excited, was it 2 seconds of excitement or was it 20 seconds of excitement? Because
Mm-hmm.
all of those things matter,
Yeah,
when you're treating something from the inside out.
right. Because to that point, I have not resolved his seizures. We may never, right? He may live with this on some scale forever. Um, but what I have noticed is, like you said, the play. He runs now. He didn't do that the first month or 6 weeks or whatever. He just laid around. His eyes are brighter, clearer, sparkly, changing. I look at the iridology of them, they have changed. Um, I noticed one day that he was like digging to fluff the covers. And that's just been in the last couple of weeks. He's never done that. He's been here 6 months, has never done that. And these are things that listen, I've had dogs forever. You see that and you think, oh, he's getting cozy. And I looked at it and I walked away. And a few minutes later, I'm like, but he's never done that before. Right. So something that we see as so normal, which is not normal for him, to me means the layers of this are peeling away.
Yeah, definitely. If Gouda does the truffle shuffle, I'm like, okay, she feels good today.
We
She
need
does have
video.
those days where she comes trotting through the house doing her little shuffle, and I'm like, it's going to be a good day. What do you want to do?
There you go.
It's like last week, you gave me an assignment. We finished the call. You gave me an assignment, and
And you haven't done it yet.
about 10 minutes after I got off the phone with you, she come truffle shuffling her way in here, and I was like, you know what? What do you want to do? What's going on, Gouda? We got in the truck
Okay.
and we went to the beach.
I will forgive you only because Gouda wanted to do something.
Oh, I use my dog for more excuses than I
That's
should.
awesome. I love it.
I'm
All
sorry,
right.
I can't come today. Gouda wanted me to sit on the couch with her.
There you go.
I
I
actually
love
do have to block time in my schedule to sit down with her, or she gets upset if I don't spend time directly
hmm
with her and not doing something else.
Yeah.
She's very needy in her senior years. We won't call you old.
Golden Senior. All right. Well, this was awesome. Thank you for sharing your story about Miss
Yeah,
Gouda.
yeah. You want to
All right.
talk about, did you want to talk about Harvey's
We'll
story?
save him for next time.
Okay. Sounds good. And poop. Talk about
Oh, and
Harvey
poop.
and poop.
I paid money for poop. Can you imagine?
Sounds crazy, but hey, it's an experiment. You have to
And
try.
it's your fault because Angela was listening to somebody's podcast and this came up. And so here we go. I'm like, all right, I'll try it. So here we
I'll
go.
try anything once, right?
Exactly.
All right. Until next time.
Bye, everybody.
Thanks for listening to Dog Splaining. We know you've got a lot of choices when it comes to dog advice. We appreciate you trusting us to keep it honest and helpful.
If today's episode helped you understand your dog's needs more clearly, share it with someone who may also need to hear it. And don't forget to follow or subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.
For more resources, visit us online or join the conversation in our community. We'll be back soon with more insight into your dog's behavior, health, and wellness. Questions welcome, and we love guests.
Until then, keep listening to Dog Explain.
Excellent.